Hello everyone, this is Dr. Anju Singhal, ready with the PPT of Class 12 Political Science. Lesson number is 5 and the name of the lesson is Democratic Resurgence. Guys, this PPT is based on latest syllabus decided by CBSE board for the session 2020 and 21. And of course, the reference sources are NCERT book and latest syllabus which was provided by CBSE board. Regarding topics of this lesson, I must say that there is lot of changes between old and proposed content for this session 2020-21. As you can see that names of 3 leaders are highlighted in the new proposed topics. Look at your screen, and that is content of this chapter. And the leaders are Jayaprakash Narayan and his total revolution, Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay and his integral humanism. And next you can see is national emergency. And last topic of this lesson is democratic upsurges. What is upsurges? That is sudden increase of something. Like we can see nowadays participation of adults backwards and youth. And you must understand the meaning of the word of resurgence also, as this is included in the name of this chapter. Return and growth of an activity that had stopped. Right? And you must be knowing that the old name of this chapter was Crisis of Democratic Order. And now it is Democratic Resurgence. Guys, I will complete this PowerPoint project in 3 videos. Okay? In first video, I will cover all 3 leaders. Right? In second video, we will discuss national emergency and a very important topic. And in third video, there will be discussion on democratic upsurges along with exercises prepared for your practice. Right? Now, let me start with the objective of topic. In this chapter, we will study about great leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan, Ram Manohar Lohia and Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, their contribution and achievements in Indian politics. And why was emergency imposed in India is also an important topic of this chapter. Then comes introduction. There was a general atmosphere of dissatisfaction with the prevailing economic situation all over the country in early years of 1970. And in 1975, emergency was declared in our country. After this, Janata Party came into power. That is, for the first time after independence, non-Congress came into power at the center. You must keep this in your mind that this was the first time after independence that any non-Congress party came into power. This chapter highlights this crucial phase in the history of democracy in India. So now comes Jayaprakash Narayan and total revolution. Look at his picture. He is Mr. Jayaprakash Narayan. क्या था उनका एक नारा? या कह सकते हैं उन्होंने क्या बात बताई, सच्ची राजनीति मानवीय प्रसन्नता को बढ़ावा देने के बारे में है। सो दिस इज हिज कोटेशन and you must know it. Can be asked in your exam, so you must know it. Jayaprakash Narayan is known for 3 key contributions: fight against corruption, principle of communitarian socialism, and championing of total revolution. This is his book, Total Revolution. You can see the cover page. Jayaprakash Narayan was the first leader in post-independence India who undertook a tirade against corruption through the participation of youth, particularly in Gujarat and Bihar. He was active in these 2 states, Gujarat and Bihar. He advocated the office of Lokpal against corruption. His principle of communitarian socialism views India as a society of communities encompassing 3 key layers, that is community, region and Rashtra. उन्होंने सोसाइटी को कैसे देखा? Community, in which we live, that is our community, and the third is in which region we live, and next comes our Rashtra, our nation, all combining federation. Based on above principles, Jayaprakash Narayan advocated transformation of individual, society and state through his call for total revolution. The name was given by him, Total Revolution, complete revolution. His call for total revolution sought to encompass moral, cultural, economic, political, educational and ecological transformation. So what he wanted? He wanted moral, cultural, economic, political, educational, ecological transformations he wanted in the society and community. That was his total revolution. His political transformation included the right to recall the importance of village, mahalla, samitis in democratic politics. He also wanted political transformation and his call for uppar ke log to join political struggle for clean politics in the country. That was his call, कि ऊपर के लोग also should join politics for clean politics. He was against corruption in the politics and every phase of life. The essence of transformation, according to Jayaprakash Narayan, revolves around man, who could be the real catalyst of change in India. So that is very true. You can describe it on your own if this question is there. And of course, out of these 3 leaders, you are going to get questions in your board exams. Guys, now comes Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism. So, look at his picture. He is Ram Manohar Lohia and his time period was, he was born on 23rd March 1910 and he expired on 12 October 1967. Ram Manohar Lohia has been one of the main proponents of socialism in India. He championed the idea of democratic socialism while associating his socialism with democracy. His idea was of democratic socialism. Socialism and democracy, or we can say democratic socialism. Lohia considered both capitalism and socialism equally irrelevant for Indian society. His principle of democratic socialism has 2 objectives. First one, the economic objective in form of food and housing. That is, first objective of democratic socialism was economic objective. In which form? We need food and we need to live, a house. So economic objective in form of food and housing. It will be very easy for you to understand if you go through like this. That number one is the economic objective. The number two is non-economic objective. So what we see? Two principles of democratic socialism. Non-economic objective in form of democracy and freedom. Obviously, first we need food and housing, and the next come non-objective objective in form of democracy and freedom. Next we want democracy, Prajatantra, and next freedom. Lohia advocated Chauburja Rajniti, in which he opines for 4 pillars of politics as well as socialism. Which 4 pillars? Center, region, district and village all are linked with each other. You see, like from top we went to down. Local self-government till center, region, district and village. Giving considerations to affirmative action, Lohia argued that the policy of affirmative action should not only be for the downtrodden but also for the women and non-religious minorities. And what he said next? He said that policy of affirmative action should not only be for the downtrodden, not only for the downtrodden, जो downtrodden people हैं, those who are with the less facilities of the life, but they should also should be considered who? Women and non-religious minorities, those who are ignored in our society. Based on the premises of democratic socialism and Chauburja Rajniti, Lohia supported a party of socialism as an attempt of merging all political parties. The party of socialism, according to Lohia, should have 3 symbols. Which 3 symbols? Spade. Spade. Prepare to make efforts. That is used to labor. Vote. Power of voting. And prison, willingness to make sacrifice. If we are put in prison, that means we are willing to make sacrifices, to sacrifice for good food, to live with the family, and we want to do something good. That was idea before independence in India, that is why those who went to prison those days, they are getting preferences, you know. Next comes Deen Dayal Upadhyay and his integral humanism. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, we can call him. And he was born on 25th September 1916 and he died on 11th February 1968. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay was a philosopher, sociologist, economist and politician. So, how many qualities he had? Pandit Deen Dayal and his integral humanism, we can say that the philosophy presented by him is called integral humanism, which was intended to present an indigenous socio-economic model in which human being remains at the center of development. Right? The aim of integral humanism is to ensure dignified life. Of course, first of all, we are human, and so we should go for a dignified life. For every human being there should be, while balancing the needs of the individual and society. First of all, we need dignity. So that was his most important thing told by him. It supports sustainable consumption of natural resources so that those resources can be replenished. Integral humanism enhances not only political but also economic and social democracy and freedom. Obviously, when we are living in such a society where indigenous socio-economic model is there, obviously we will live economically developed and social democracy will be there, and we will feel freedom also, as it seeks to promote diversity. It is best suited for a country as diverse and as India. The philosophy of integral humanism is based on the following three principles: primacy of whole, not part. That is his philosophy of integral humanism. Three principles are there. The first one is primacy of whole, not part. Not a single part, the whole, complete one. Supremacy of dharma and autonomy of society. All the three things are very important. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay opposed both Western and capitalist individualism and Marxist socialism. According to Deen Dayal Upadhyay, capitalist and socialist ideologies only consider the needs of human body and mind. So, they are based on materialistic purpose, whereas spiritual development is equally considered important for the complete development of human being, which is missing in both capitalism and socialism. So, he did not go for the capitalist and socialist ideologies because he said they are based on materialistic purposes. Capital is, money, and socialist ideologies, only ideologies. So, he said that complete development of human being is missing in both capitalism and socialism, basing his philosophy on the internal conscience, pure human soul to be called Chitti. What is Chitti? Deen Dayal Upadhyay envisaged a classless, casteless and conflict-free social system. So that is very important about him to know that what he said, pure human soul is called Chitti. So he gave the name pure human soul Chitti, and you must know it and you should remember it. So here is the end of our first video, and we will meet in the next part of the lesson. That is very important topic, national emergency. Guys, please subscribe my channel if you have not done it yet. Go through the whole PPT, the whole video, and like it and share it with your friends. Okay, take care.